Hey guys, it's Brendan Borman back for a 270 stream, and today we are going to be looking at the 270 Lounge and the power rankings for the month of September. And this list has been brought to you by Jason Casey, who him and myself are both on this list. But what we did was we took several Lounge opinions from across the community tournaments, and there was a SurveyMonkey poll release where we had to rank our individual top 25 players. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over the official list and going over my list and just giving some predictions on who's going to be going up in the near future. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who has participated in my Wacky Wednesday my tournaments, my subscribers only tournaments. It's down to Team Siraj versus Team Troy. So good luck to both teams. But without further ado, let's get on to the list. So at the top, Tossin S. Lake. The S stands for super fantastic. That man has gone on a run recently. And not only has he won the heavy hitters tournament versus George Fry, has he continued his dominance in the RHL. He was the defending champion in that premier White House League. But he's just a very tough and consistent player. And so, as you can see, he had 14 first place votes. And so Tossin, his stock is on the up and up. Jason Casey remaining at number 2. He did have 3 first place votes, and so Jason's one of the most feared and well-known players in the lounge. Recently, there was a stream that Jason hopped on a post-game interview and was asked, who is the one player that you do not want to play? He paused for a second, and he said Tossin, so it's pretty fitting that they are 1 and 2. Number 3, Supan Lilianaj. There it is. Supan Lilianaj. From the man down under from Australia. Getting 3 first place votes himself. Yeah, I tell you what, he is a really great 270 player and an even better dude. He's very humble, as is Jason and Dawson, but Serpent is a very, very good streamer. Just fun person to talk about the game, talk about life in general. And, you know, I've been very impressed with his multiplayer abilities. Now, this list, I should clarify, is a 1v1 list. And I will say that he was the most difficult for me to rank, because there are days where I watch him in a live stream and I go, oh my gosh, this guy is unpredictable. He's doing these big steals. And I think that the game he plays, it warrants possible blowouts if he guesses wrong. And so sometimes it can perceive that he played a really bad game, where really the margin of victory by electoral votes really isn't the whole story. It is kind of those 1 or 2 turns that really dictate the match. And you see that in a lot of high-profile games where just one critical move can really decide who wins. Coming in at number 4, we have Javier Jason Rodriguez III. Javier, you guys have seen him on the streams. He and I have had many back-and-forth battles recently. And I think that there is a little bit of a tier break when it comes to these first 5 guys, in my opinion. Now, I actually drew the line at number 4, so there's the upper echelon, and my list is just a little bit different. But Javier, he is very consistent. He's been really on a roll as of late in the RHL, and he's a very, very underrated multiplayer player. I do think that Javier can fall into some tendencies that are somewhat predictable, and I say that in the most respectful way, just because maybe I've played against him a lot, and people might say the same exact thing about me. So Javier, he just beat George Fry the other day, which it's an amazing accomplishment by itself to win the Knights of the Round Table by Daniel Smith, that tournament. And then at number 5, George Fry himself. George has been and is considered by many to be the model of consistency when it comes to loungers. Now, George, he's doing really well again in the 270 tournament that is being hosted by the actual game. If you're watching this, you don't know the code is debates. But there's no debate about this. George, this is probably about as low as George is going to go, is at 5th. So if you're watching this, George, it's not that we don't think you're really good. It's just other players have done a little bit recently to earn a spot above you in the eyes of everyone else. Now, personally, I had George a little bit higher. And again, I'll get into that in just a little bit. At number 6, we have Adam Montgomery. Adam is newer to the 270 scene. There's a video on YouTube. You can follow me at Brendan Borman, where I played him a few months ago. He's really good as FDR, but really, he's just really good. He is, looking at the numbers and the math side of things and really trying to do what Tossin does and put himself in a great situation, a lot of flexibility. I will say that kind of like Javier, I think Adam is a little bit more predictable than some of the top tier players, but that's okay. He has a strategy, he sticks to it, and he has been really, really good so far in the RHL as well. Adam, he has a really good streaming duo with Troy Moore, and both those players, I think, have fed off each other, and both are continuing to rise up the rankings. Coming in as a tie at number 7 is yours truly, Brendan Borman, and Jeff Ray. Jeff is an all-time, top of the leaderboard caliber player. I do think that Jeff goes a little bit under the radar sometimes, but it has been a while since he's won like a tournament. But you could say the same thing about me. We just go really far. We're really consistent. And Jeff, he has kind of his strategy or kind of his game, I would say, where it's kind of the lower spend, kind of slow bonuses. A little bit more flexibility. That's the game Jeff wants to play. He likes being on the swing state bonus, starting off manufacturing in North Carolina or Florida. But Jeff Ray, if you've played against him, you know exactly how tough he can beat. And what I'll say about him is when he is down, he is definitely not out. Can't count out Jeff Ray. Which, of course, you can say about number 9, Larete Costa. Larete is the official battle god of 270, and of course, if you're down but not out on the ballot, you can come back and win, just like Larete has done on numerous occasions. Now, Larete did receive a first place vote, and he is the lowest player on this ranking that did receive a first place vote, and that just goes to show that this list really is the difference between 2 and 11 or 4 and 14 is not a whole lot. We're nitpicking here. So if you're watching this video and you kind of have a gripe about where these fellas came in, I assume this was an average kind of score and then kind of listed out. So Larete did come in at number 9. He has been on a little bit of a tough stretch, going up against a lot of high caliber players, and again, he is always in the match, but I think that he has a bread and butter strategy, and players are starting to kind of catch on to that just a little bit, and maybe outflanking him at Latino, or maybe not allowing him to get that high-tech bonus or the New York California combination. Just something that makes it a little bit more of an uphill battle where he can't quite come back on the ballot. So although Larete's stock has been trending down, he's still a fantastic player, and I look forward to playing him in the near future. Coming in at number 10, we have Bart Shilders, who is another player who is not from the United States. He is several hours ahead, and so he's probably asleep right now. Bart is a player that I'm proud to say that I have never lost to. Now, I didn't have to put that in quotes until about 3 hours ago when Bart and I played in the 270 lounge, or the lobby, I'm sorry, and we tied 269 and 269, and he was a Democratic candidate. I was a Republican candidate. It gave him the win, as it does, and I am not accepting that as a loss. I will concede a tie. That's fine. I should have won. I miscalculated how much counting down money he had and didn't use my oil to defend in states that I should have. Actually, I'll take the L. That's fine. Gives me something to look forward to next game. But no, Bart, fantastic player, and I say that just that I was proud that I'd never lost to him because all of our matches are extremely close. He is someone that likes to save a little bit of money, kind of make you nervous a little bit, but also not allow you to get those bonuses that really help your candidate. So Bart, great player. He is followed by Daniel Warren. Daniel is one of the two Daniels on this leaderboard. Daniel Warren has made a name for himself. He was in the tournament that was hosted by Renee where you battle for the belt, and he definitely earned his way up. He's had quite a few upsets. He is a gutsy player, and you have to watch out when you're playing Daniel because he will go for some steals that doesn't seem like it's wise, but at the same time, it's almost so far out there that it becomes unpredictable, and you have to make some of those steals when you're playing against some of the best players. So Daniel Warren, very deserving to be on this list. He's been on several of my teams in the team tournament, and I look forward to playing with him again. I do know that he has been very involved in the lounge and maybe taking a little bit of a break to kind of decompress when it comes to all things 270, but Daniel comes in at number 11, and followed by President Camacho, a.k.a. Tyler Barola, at number 12. We have two Tylers. I remember Supun will remember that back when we had our first team tournament, he drafted Tyler Barola and got Tyler Damora, and that didn't used to be, it used to be a lot bigger of a deal than it is now. It used to really, really, really want Tyler Barola. And not saying that you don't want him on your team, but Tyler Damora starting to make a case for himself. Currently 20-0 in the 270 tournament going on right now. So we'll get to Tyler Damora in a little bit. But Tyler Barola kind of reminds me a lot of Jeff Ray. Kind of that slow game, limited bonuses early on, but is really good at pivoting. And you just kind of have to put him in a situation to make him choose. But fantastic player. He's also been really successful in that same tournament that Daniel Warren played in. And, definitely deserving of that number 12 spot. At 13, free Troy Moore. Free Troy Moore. He needs to be higher on this list than 13. I had him personally at number 10 on my list, and that was before he beat me in the RHL to end my perfect season. But Troy, definitely on the up and up. I know Jason Casey has spoke highly of him in the past, how hard of a game he's given. Any player on this list can beat any player, but Troy is definitely someone that I haven't played a whole lot, and I like the guy a lot, so I don't want to say I don't want to play him, but I'd rather play somebody else than Troy. So he comes in at number 13. At number 14, we have Rick Whitmer. Rick is a very, very good Obama player. Rick is definitely someone that I have lost to on occasion in the game. Actually, probably more so than anyone else on this list, especially from the bottom half. Well, Rick, there have been some situations where, there was maybe an obvious play where he could double tap into California and get Latino and high tech. and I thought maybe I could go for a timely steal in Pennsylvania or North Carolina or Illinois, and he saw that and blocked it and delayed getting all those bonuses just to cut me off. And so, again, there's just one specific game I'm thinking of recently where he did that, and I was pretty impressed. So Rick comes in at number 14, followed by a tie of two of the captains from my subscribers only team. That is Siraj Thomas and Richard Altfeld. Richard, I would give the slight edge to as far as the, well, you know what? I was going to say overall player. I definitely think that Siraj has his strategy, and his strategy is very tough to beat, especially for newer players. He's someone that also likes to pip in a state and make you overspend. But if you are kind of conscious and aware of that, you can progress from bonus to bonus. I think that you can beat Siraj. Any player that does that. But Siraj is really dangerous in multiplayer. And Richard is too. Richard is very underrated with multiplayer. And I did see a stream not that long ago with Richard where he was in a 1v1, and he was pretty competitive. It came down to the ballot round. He did lose. I can't remember who he's playing, but I always enjoy both those tournaments, or both those players, and I really respect Richard's multiplayer league tournament. That is in its at least 5th season, and I know he's taking just a little decompressing break also from hosting his tournament, but we look forward to seeing him back in the lounge very soon. Coming in at number 17, we have Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith and I just played against each other in a game of The Troll, hosted by, it's created by Jeremy Cooper Sperber, but hosted by Tyler Damora and Javier. And I will say that Daniel Smith is really, really good in his game. So give him a Republican candidate, give him someone like Trump or some Trump 2020 or Ben Carson or Abraham Lincoln, and I would say he could beat just about anybody, any kind of circumstances. It's interesting that he is lower on this list. I had him at number 12. So, again, it just depends on personal preference and experiences, like playing against this guy, playing against this guy. So, at this list, he was 17, followed by David Robeson, who does not have a stock up symbol by his name, but there needs to be one. I know this is the single player, but in a multiplayer setting, man, David Robeson is tough to beat. He's starting to be that way 1v1, and if you give him like Michelle Obama or some candidate that's better than your opponent, look out, it's going to be a bloodbath. So David Robeson at number 18, followed by Richard Gadd. Richard Gadd beat me probably about 2 months ago in a game where it was maybe the first time in my 270 career where I maybe took a little bit for granted, and I was like, oh, I'm just playing Richard Gadd. And I didn't say this out loud. I didn't say it to anybody. I just thought it in my head. I'm not going to, get my fancy spreadsheet in my calculator. I'm just going to wing it, and I got my butt kicked. And Richard went on a tear that week. I think he beat several top players. And because of that, he is definitely getting the respect of some other folks in the community as well. I will say that Richard, he does have his set strategy, and maybe pivoting from bonuses to bonuses. I think that there have been several occasions where he probably had me outplayed in the beginning to maybe even middle stages of the game, but just couldn't seal the deal. And so that's something that when he figures that part of it out, and when that clicks, he is going to be a nightmare to have to play against. Coming in at number 20, one of my favorite dudes in the lounge, Ben Shaban, a.k.a. Mo Waffles. Ben, He is also newer to the lounge as well. Hasn't been playing forever and ever, but really making a name for himself. He did host the heavy hitters tournament that I mentioned earlier, and he did make it just recently to the semifinals of my subscribers only tournament as a captain. And, there are different circumstances where, I've seen him dominate in multiplayer games. But I've also seen him maybe a little bit like Supin, where wouldn't say play a wild game, but he's taken some risks and they haven't paid off, and it's maybe caused him to lose by more than maybe he should have. But, at the end of the day, if you lose 268 to 270, it's the same as losing 345 to whatever that comes out to be, 538 total. So anyway, Ben Shaban at number 20, followed by Eric York. Now, Eric York has been playing recently as other candidates, trying to experiment without using his patented national group strategy. And Eric is kind of like that knuckleball pitcher where every fifth day in Major League Baseball that you just don't see, don't get to practice against something like that. And so any given opportunity where you get to face him and practice that can be a little bit kind of throw you off your game. I've kind of also been going national groups when he goes national groups, and just kind of making him dictate the pace of the match, and maybe saving a little bit, maybe cutting him off. But Eric, there was one game we played probably about 3 weeks ago, and it was late at night, and I was struggling to keep my eyes open, and the only reason I won was I was able to quick ballot him. So Eric is definitely a formidable player, and I know he hasn't been in the lounge forever. Just this year, I believe. Could be wrong on that, but I didn't really get to interact with him until recently, so we'll be interested to see if he is able to climb up the leaderboard higher than 21. At 22, we have Tyler Damora, a.k.a. King of the North, with his stock trending way up, and deservedly so. He did not cheat. He posted lots of screenshots of all of his victories that he had in the lounge, and I know that no one really thought that was a real thing, but I will say Tyler, he's pretty good in general, but he's really good at those 1 minute timers. He's got kind of a knack for those just outlandish plays that work just enough of the time to kind of give him the advantage. I will say that I think I've lost to him 3 of the last 4 times I've played him in a 1 minute timer. But in a full 3 minute, when I get time to just think, and again, he can still be crazy and he can still beat me, but I would definitely feel a lot better when I'm playing him in a 3 minute timer versus a 1 minute timer. So kudos to Tyler for his improvements. And then Marty Donnelly comes in at number 23. The old Irishman, Marty. He is a decent player, very, very solid actually. But one thing about Marty, Marty's one of those players that you just, and don't take this personally, Marty. You feel, oh, it's Marty. Okay, I got this. And so he just kind of puts just enough pressure to where it goes, oh, I might have to think about it, but it's always token pressure. And I think he plays a very cautious game, and if one piece of advice to kind of take that next step up, be aggressive once in a while. Maybe change up your game, go for a steal. It may clash once in a while, but until you show that you're willing to maybe swing and miss once in a while, you're just going to maybe hang down here. But you know what? As a top 23 player, that is nothing to sneeze at. I have enjoyed watching you playing against you myself, and hopefully that didn't offend you too badly. At number 24, we have Matthew Perkins. Matthew Perkins is someone that I left off my personal top 25 ranking. He is in the RHL Congress. I have enjoyed, he is a very good dude. He's volunteered to play in lots of my kind of sub-tournaments, and very, very, I'd say he's a top 25 lounger, like just overall good guy. But as far as gameplay goes, he's never really given me a tough game. Now, again, don't have a whole lot to go off of personally, so I look forward to playing against Matthew in the future. And then Chris Roper rounds out the top 25. Chris was someone who I had slotted in at number 24, just kind of one slot ahead of Marty. So to go backwards, my list, go from top to 25 to 1, I had Marty Donnelly, 25, followed by Chris Roper at 24, and then I had Josh Fisher at 23. Josh is someone who, just like Marty, they play a really conservative but predictable early game, and they do all the right things in the middle of the game. They get in the right states. They kind of save a little bit of cash, but just there's not a whole lot of substance there as far as a threat. And so Josh, I had him at number 23, followed by I had Siraj at number 22 on my personal list. Not a shot at Siraj. Great guy. I had him at 22 in 1v1, and I had him like top 12 when it came to multiplayer. So I just think that he's more of a multiplayer type player. At number 21, I had Richard Altfeld. And then 20, I had Tyler Damora. So they were kind of back-to-back. I had Tyler getting the slight edge. Ben Shaban at number 19. David Robeson at number 18, who I admit, if I was doing this list today, I would probably move David Robeson up from 18 all the way up to at least 16, possibly 15. So that tier, I have David Robeson. 17, I have Rick Whitmer. 16, Eric York. And 15, I have Richard Gadd. I talked about all those players, but that's just kind of a group where they're all really dangerous for their own set of reasons. But in my mind, there was a tier from 4 all the way up to 14. So Tyler Barola at 14, Daniel Warren at 13, Daniel Smith at 12, Adam Montgomery at 11, who I was probably one of the lowest players on Adam, and I wasn't trying to be. There are just a lot of guys I have had history with and I like a lot. Adam, prove me wrong, my man. Hope to see you in the top 10 very soon on my list. Troy Moore at number 10. Larete, I had right at number 9, right where he came in. Bart, I had at number 8, followed by Jeff. And then I had Javier at number 6. Which is a little bit controversial because I had him ahead of right behind me. I had myself at number 5. Javier and I have played 4 times lately in the last month or so, and I've won at least 3, if not all 4. I can't remember, but those are always great matches, and a couple of those were 1-minute timers, so I know that those could go either way. I did beat him in the RHL, but Javier, I will say, has won more top tournaments, more prolific accolades attached to his name. And so, in a nutshell, I would probably rank him higher. I'd probably put me, honestly, like in the 12 range, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm treating this like a college football ranking, almost like, what have you done for me lately? Who have you beaten? What have you done? Just total, like, awards, accolades, championships. So that's how I'm viewing it. Then my top 4, which I viewed as a tier, kind of Serpon a tier by himself at number 4. But I had George Fry at 3, Jason Casey, and Tossin S. Lake at number 1. So I'm sure there's a lot that you're going to disagree with when it comes to this list. I encourage you to comment those in this video. Hit me up on Messenger that if you'd like to maybe give me a little bit more info about why I should rank you higher in the future. I know this is going to be a monthly thing. Thank you so much to Jason Casey for putting this on. And until next month, I will catch you guys in the next Power Rankings video. I should have a few more videos coming on the channel soon. I've had some really tough matches in the tournament that I'll be posting, as well as some more subscribers only as we get down to the final 4 players. 3 from Team Siraj, and then we have Rashav, who could be on this list very soon as a top 25 player. Anyway, thank you so much for all your support. I would appreciate if you guys like and subscribe. As of this recording, I have 99 subscribers, almost to that 100 mark, so I would really appreciate it. And again, I will be giving out a $25 gift card whenever I hit that 150 subscriber plateau. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you in the next 270 video.